Which is that lots of us making New Year's resolutions this week, and many of those have to do with how we save, how we spend our money. Financial experts saying that it all starts with sticking to a budget. Oh, you got to have those. Joining me now, Vera Gibbons. She's a senior consumer analyst for GasBuddy.com. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. I should point out, when Leland was talking about gas prices, GasBuddy actually predicts that consumers are going to spend as much as $120 to $180 more this year at the pump. So that's bad news.
So even more important for what we're talking about right here, which is how to save in the new year.
Save more. I think it's becoming increasingly hard to do, Heather, given the fact that all the costs are going up, from gas to health care to housing costs. Rent's going to rise 1.4%, groceries as much as 2.5%. But you have to set specific goals. Research actually shows that if you have goals and they're specific, you're more inclined to save regardless of what's going on out there.
Okay, that's the same advice that we got about losing weight as well. So it's easier said than done.
Well, you've got to make the goals attainable in the new year. That's the problem a lot of people have. I'm going to lose 30 pounds in 2 weeks. I'm going to go on a liquid diet. Forget it. You've got to make them reasonable, realistic, timely, actionable. You got to have a plan.
So what is reasonable? What do you start
Something
with?
that's attainable. You have to, they say for New Year's resolutions it should be SMART. It should be, what's the S for? Specific. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely.
Okay, that's easy to remember. SMART. Got it.
There you go.
Okay.
So a second resolution would be to spend less. Obviously, a lot of people have trouble with this one, but I think it just requires you taking a look at what's coming in the door, what's going out the door, and then figuring out where you can actually cut the fat. Last year we spent more on going out at the bars and the restaurants than we did on groceries, so maybe that's one area you can actually cut back on. Going out, eating out.
And then avoiding debt, credit card debt specifically.
Well, this is the biggest one because credit card debt is extremely costly. Consumers spend about $1,000 over the holidays. The average household has over $16,000 in credit card debt. This is variable rate debt. We had one interest rate hike in December. We're expected to get 3 more in 2017. So that credit card debt is going to be more expensive. Each quarter point rise in interest rates makes that debt $25 more per $1,000 of credit card debt. So if you've got $16,000 of credit card debt, that's going to be expensive debt in 2017.
So one of the first things you do if you can save money is to pay off that debt.
Try to pay that off first. Really want to make that a priority.
And then that helps you have good credit, which is the next
Well, credit's important too, especially now because mortgage rates are rising. We're at 4% now, potentially going to go to 5% in the new year. The key to getting the best rate on your mortgage, obviously, is to have very good credit. When mortgage rates rise by just 1 percentage point, affordability, drops by 10%. So it's really important you have good credit in the mid-700s if you want to get the best possible rate on that.
So what do you mean by avoid convenience and being lazy? What does that mean?
A lot of us do this. We saw this a lot in the holidays. A lot of us have our credit card information stored on those sites. That makes us just too easy to actually buy. GasBuddy actually did a survey, too, and found that we're becoming a little too complacent in our gas buying habits. We're just going to the stations that are most convenient. You really don't want to do that because, as Leland pointed out, gas prices, while they were a little over $2 last year, are going to go up considerably this year, 20 to 30 cents more in the new year. So I would just say watch the convenience spending, watch the shopping online, watch the budget purchases, and be a little more aware. I mean, a lot of people, too, when they're shopping for loans, don't bother doing their research. They spend more time researching TVs and vacations than they do loans. And your loan is going to be your big expense.
Right.
So these are the types of things you need to pay.
So be smart. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and
you just have to remember what that stands for.
All right. Thank you so much. Happy New Year.
Thanks, Heather. You too.
Great to see
you too.